What's happening, everybody? It's Tyler Pyron here with Phil DiMartino from 5 Tool Productions, and this is our very first 5 Tool Productions video blog, video podcast, whatever we want to call it. We're kind of calling it whatever we want.
Talk about stuff on video.
Yeah, so basically what we're seeing right now is that a lot of people are doing content marketing incorrectly. They say, oh, content's king, and I'm so sick of hearing that for the last 10 years. They know they have to do it. They don't really know how to approach it right. So having Phil and myself kind of been in the industry for a little while now and understanding, we kind of figured it'd be kind of a brain dump and you can listen in on our conversations. So this is kind of the first one that we're rolling out to you. And the first topic is really stop overthinking it and just go out and create something. So really, what do we mean by that? So when we say that, I think you and I have kind of seen both extremes where people literally go out there and they don't think about anything whatsoever at all. We'll give an example of this in a minute. And they'll just go shoot it and then say, I've got this video, now what?
Right.
And then on the other side of things, we've seen people say, all right, let's plan. Is this going to be right? I don't know. Let's measure this before we do it. And they literally lose months of time before they create one single solitary piece of content. You've lost that traction. What are you going to do now? Go out there and just create something. You've done a little bit of planning.
Right.
So we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a little bit of a happy medium, right? You don't want to go out and do a large scale production with no end goals in mind. And I think you talk about people doing content marketing wrong. And I think the best way to think about it from the start is just to realize that everything you do should have your audience and your core kind of goals and your core message in mind. And as long as you kind of start from there and you have an overall plan, you can do some pretty low cost production in-house, even with a phone or, DSLRs, fairly small investments that can make a big difference to let you churn stuff out pretty regularly. And as long as you're kind of always thinking about, okay, this is who I'm talking to, these are the things that we know about, and you're really hammering home your message, you can't really go wrong as long as, like you said, you're not going out there and spending a lot of money on a production without a core goal in mind.
Yeah, well, and I think that starts from, if your company's large enough to have a CMO, to actually from the top down, and they say, okay, here's what our marketing objective is. It's trying to generate leads for a movie theater, whatever it happens to be, whatever that may be. Okay, we have this big giant $2 million budget for a content marketing program. Okay, you do want to plan that out. Of course. But if we want to say, okay, you know what? Let's just try something. Let's just try Facebook Live from my cell phone real quick.
It's a great example.
I mean, look, use a university example, something that you have a lot of experience with. A university, go and say, you know what? We're just going to try this, send a bunch of kids out and go Facebook Live and give them access to our channel and just see what happens, because a lot of great things can happen from that. Right?
I think a lot of people to that point get scared about how people are going to perceive it if it's not exactly on brand. And not every single thing that you do is going to be a commercial, and it shouldn't be, because people don't want to watch commercials, right? People want to hear you talk about the things that you actually know about. In this case, hopefully something like this for us, right? This is an example of that for us.
Well, I mean, honestly, when was the last time you actually watched something, or anybody, you go to Thanksgiving dinner and you hear from your crazy uncle tell you about how rich he is and how much money he's got and how great everything's going for him. You walk away from that Thanksgiving table saying, great, Uncle Billy's a nut job. I don't even want to listen to him anymore. It's the same thing for business. You don't want to listen to that company that's sitting there ramming stuff down your throat. You want to actually have a conversation with the good uncle that you say, oh, how are things going? Oh, things are going great. Well, what have you learned the last couple of years? That's the exact same thing. You mean kind of perfect timing, Thanksgiving coming up. Sorry, Uncle Billy, I apologize for that. I mean,
Uncle Billy and you probably get into some brawls about politics this Thanksgiving, but either way.
It's all right. We actually won't be seeing one another this time around, so it's okay. But anyways, so I kind of want to share a story, though.
Yeah.
Because a while ago, you and I actually worked on a similar project together on this. A company actually approached us and said, this was before 5 Tool Productions ever really existed, but a company approached this other business and said, hey, we had this giveaway, we shot a bunch of stuff. Can you guys make something of this? They rented like a cinematographer, they rented a light kit, a lighting company to do this, and they also had full mics. I mean, they probably spent $15,000 to $20,000 worth on just the shoot alone, without having an idea of what it was going to be. It's basically like a makeover. It's almost what it was. It was a makeover. I won't mention the business's name, but they had a makeover. They had literally no idea what they were going to do with that.
Right.
Now, I get that if they want to shoot some small stuff, spend some short money on that, go out there and say, hey, this is an opportunity. We can't squander this. We have to go shoot something. Go and create, yes, but be aware and cognizant of your budget. Now, maybe for this company in particular, I know it wasn't. It's a drop in the pan, and for someone like you and me, small company, that we say, okay, yeah, let's just spend money on just a cell phone video or just a quick DSLR shoot or something. But this company, I know for a fact, was struggling at the point in time.
Right.
So they were spending $20,000 there. They then came to us for the editing plan for another $20,000 to create the story and write everything out, which it ended up turning out to be great content in the end when all was said and done. But here's what happened. They spent a lot more than they should have, and they actually lost traction with it. So they did this kind of makeover series that took place. And instead of saying, hey, we're going to be documenting all these people as we go and promoting it all the way down the line, they then said, after the fact, well, it's been 3 months now. So they lost all the followers. They lost that traction. And that kills you as a brand.
Yeah. And I think it goes back to that happy medium. Again, it's not that you shouldn't invest in a big production when the time is right. And it's just a matter of when you do that, you have to have the plan in mind. And for the other instances that we're talking about, when we say stop thinking and just go create something, do it for the right price, and do it for shorter money, and get those things just to keep your messaging consistent, and to kind of keep your social channels full, and to keep your audience engaged, so that when you do have a huge, massive marketing campaign come out, people have been along for the ride, and they know a little bit about you, and they think you're smart because you've been talking about the things you know about all along. And so I think it's a happy medium, and you just have to remember that not every single thing you do has to be a feature film. Not everything is Avatar.
Exactly. And the same with blog posts too, right? It doesn't have to be, oh my goodness, it's going to be on the next Sunday Globe that's going to be reaching the world. No, it could be smaller things, quick hits. And here's the other, I hate the word, but the word pivot is huge when it comes to content creation. Because guess what? If you do something for short money, measure it. See how it worked real quick on a short term. See what worked, what didn't work. Was the distribution plan off on it? Or was it just something quick and say, hey, I can build upon this and move. Say, you know what? Heck, we got to go do this again. Then do it again.
And maybe invest the real money in it.
Exactly.
So if you did get some traction on it.
And the same thing going back to after the fact too. When you do measure it, measure what your audience liked. I mean, we'll talk about this in the future one, I'm sure, because we saw this on a project we worked on in particular. 100%. That was really interesting because we created a video, they posted it up. It did really, really, really well on one channel alone. And they had some other videos and other things that I think they were kind of forcing. And we looked at them and we said, I get that you shot that, but look at the amount of engagement. Look at the amount of views that this other video has gotten. Do more videos like that one. Don't force it upon it. We'll talk about this.
No, I think the point that you're kind of driving at is that you have to put yourself in the shoes of the people who you want to talk to. Yeah. You have to get yourself out of your office a little bit and think about what do I want when I'm trying to go online and I'm scrolling through Facebook, because that's reality. A lot of what we're talking about now is that inbound marketing idea of you're just trying to get people who are on Facebook scrolling through, who are already interested, but you need to get them to stop scrolling and actually engage with what you're doing. And no one wants to do that for a commercial, right? People want to do that for things that they're interested in and things that are going to add value to them. Right, so you talk about an auto repair shop. No one wants to see a commercial for an auto repair shop, right? But what they do want to know is maybe how to do something to fix their own car, right? And you can tell them how to do something simple because you're an auto repair shop and that's your expertise. That adds value. Or something interesting. Talk about a project where you restored a classic car and ground up. You did this amazing work on a car. It's not selling to them. It's just establishing your own value and kind of telling your story a little bit. And it's none of that is a commercial, right? And none of that is big money either. It's just either adding value or creating something that people are actually going to be interested in. And it all comes down to just remembering what it's like when you're in the audience as opposed to in the marketing office. Because you can achieve a lot of your goals in marketing without doing those overt advertisement type huge shoots.
Well, so I think it comes down to two things when you talk about this. One, consumers aren't dumb.
Right.
They see right through that crap. Right. And two, it is so easy for me to hit that little red X in the top corner or continue to scroll.
Just scroll.
Just keep scrolling. My thumb is there. I'm going to keep going. It is so easy for people to do that at this point in time that it's kind of foolish. Stop thinking of people like that. So I think we'll end with this in saying two things. One, plan a little.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But don't plan too much.
Yeah, and keep your
right?
core messaging and what you're good at in mind always. That's your planning when you're doing short money, short time shoots.
And that's the overarching marketing strategy as a whole.
Core message, core audience. What are we good at? What do we know about?
Awesome. He's Phil DiMartino. I'm Tyler Pyburn from 5 Tool Productions. See you guys next time.